You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Being thus threatened from two directions, I determined to attack. As July 1st, 1863 gained in notoriety with each passing hour, one Confederate division at the center of the action in the afternoon was that of Major General Robert Rhodes. No, just kidding. Major General Robert Rhodes. Join us as we examine the arrival and then deployment of this veteran Confederate division as the fight General Robert E. Lee didn't want, reached the point of no return. August 20th, 2022 at 10 a.m., we are talking about Rhodes's division. And this is good. I like this. This is an interesting thing because it really, things start to get interesting in my head when Rhodes's division shows up.
Yeah. Rhodes, and he's still operating under the premise that Lee says, do not bring on a general engagement. So that hasn't been changed.
Right.
When Rhodes arrived. He gets there, he sees a portion of the 1st Corps on his right front, and coming up out of the town, emerging from the town into the plains area, is the 11th Corps. And as you said in the quote, he thinks he's going to be attacked.
Right.
So what does he do? He decides to attack.
He attacks.
Again, against
Very smart.
the instructions of Lee. And once that happens, it's on. There's no going back then. But we'll talk about how he gets there, how they deploy. Some of his units fight very well, some don't. Rhodes is a rising star in the Confederate Army, but during his time here at Gettysburg, it's not his brightest moment.
Right.
And he's going to be killed the following year.
How old a gentleman is he?
I can't remember.
30s, 20s?
If he's in his 30s, it's low 30s.
Low 30s.
He's not that. He's not.
He's not very old.
No.
I'm looking
He's
at
not
him. He
even
looks pretty
middle aged.
young.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a young guy, very smart. Like again, he's a rising star, one of their rising stars, and he doesn't have his best efforts here at the Battle of Gettysburg for whatever reason. And this is his main effort. He's supposed to take part on the second day as part of the general overall Confederate assault on the second day, and his troops don't.
Right.
I don't blame him for not engaging his troops. That's a different story. But his primary action during the 3 days of Battle of Gettysburg are going to be on the first day up in the area around Oak Hill. And then if you look down towards the town from Oak Hill, you see the area his men are going to move towards and engage the Union Army and send them on their way.
Is it true that Howard's, whether it was Howard or one of the lower ranking officers in the Corps, as they were coming out of town, they were trying to extend the First Corps' line up on Oak Hill?
Yes,
right.
He wants
Rhodes got there first.
Yeah, he wants to do two things: occupy Oak Hill, and he also wants to connect with the right end of Reynolds' line.
Mm-hmm.
That's Robinson's division. There, it's on today what is known as Doubleday Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to connect with Reynolds and occupy Oak Hill, and Rhodes arrives first. And because Rhodes is up there, it's close enough to Reynolds' line that the 11th Corps can't move up any further and affect the connection with the First Corps. So there's a gap between the lines of the two corps.
Okay.
And that gap comes into play also.
Yeah.
At first, the Union Army does all right. That gap is not going to matter much,
right.
And they're able to hold back Rhodes's men. But then once the 11th Corps gets more Confederates coming in on their right, that's Early's men, that's when they've got a bigger problem.
Sure.
And that's when it all starts to fall apart on this end of the line.
Is Howard aware as he's heading out there and he's sending his troops out? Is he? Are they aware that Early's on his way? Can they see?
I'm pretty sure they've gotten reports that
the
Confederates are coming that way.
Yeah. So he wasn't trying to extend the Union line up on Oak Hill and have his back turned towards where Early's coming from. But he just wanted to extend the line with part of the Corps and then probably still make that right angle.
It's high ground.
Yeah.
So, and back then everybody's enamored with high ground.
Yes.
Not all high ground is made the same.
No.
Big Round Top is a lot different from Little Round Top. So even though Big Round Top's the higher ground, it's not as valuable just because of the way it's constructed. So they're always enamored with high ground. But again, not all high ground is made the same. But that's what he wants to get to, that high ground and affect the connection. I'm sure he would have guarded his right rear from Early. Now, he knows Early's coming from that direction, I think. Whether he's using a particular road or not, he might not have known that. I'd have to delve deeper into it to get exactly what he said afterwards. But they know they're out there.
It is a great hill, though, to put your artillery on.
But the Confederates misuse it.
Well, and
we'll talk about it.
But theoretically, if you use it correctly, it's really good because you could fire down the Union line, and you could also fire on the heads of the First Corps is what I meant. Yep. And then you could also fire on the heads of the 11th Corps down on the plain to your left. And so it's a great spot for that if you use it well.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't need to use it well because they still won the day. But
but they sure got tore up. And we talked about that last summer on one of our tours.
That's right.
When we were concentrating specifically on the 82nd Illinois.
Yes.
And others.
Schimmelpfennig's Brigade, that one. That was our first one last year. No, it was our second one.
Yeah, second. And I love that. I had fun on that tour. I had fun on all of them, but I really
like it because we really walked through the fields, and I've never walked through those fields before. So that was my first. Well, it was my second time because we scoped it out first. Yeah. But that was fun. I like that.
The Confederates moved their artillery down.
It was a gorgeous day.
It was.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Onto the face of that hill, and they stand out, and the Union artillery down on Howard's line they're great targets.
Yeah,
and so Howard's artillery just tears them up because of the way they were used up there.
That's going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to all of these, especially because a lot of these are. This is what out of the 4 that we've done so far, this is the third. Of the first 4. 3 of them are Confederate-centric. Really, you could say all 4 because Avery's brigade attacks.
Yeah, I think that one's a 50-50 one. Yeah, I use that quote because that quote is known.
Right.
And it's a great. That story is just great to me.
Sure. He's getting a burger at the concession stand at the football field and gets shot and killed.
And then he uses the wrapper and writes the note. I mean, and they still have the piece of paper.
He writes it on a burger wrapper. Yeah.
I
like that you can play along.
That one's not Confederate-centric. I just used that Confederate quote. I'm talking about both because when we did that preview, I'm going to talk about Carroll's brigade coming over there and what the job they do.
So that's a fair one. It's both. It's both.
Yeah, this is, I think, 3 out of 4 so far.
3 out of 4. And then, the remainders are surprises. You're just going to have to wait until September, October to hear them. This tour, we're going to park at the Peace Light, park where legal. If there are no spaces, keep going until you find a space and then walk back. I do think if it matters to anybody, and don't hold me to this, it's just me thinking off the top of my head, I think this one has the least amount of walking. If walking long distances through open fields. I was going to say, are we even walking? Or are we just
we'll do some walking. Yeah. But it's not the crazy going, we're going out in the weeds.
So we're not going to go into the woods behind the Peace Light at all?
We'll go back there a little bit.
But not the clearing. I'm talking the woods. There's a trail that goes to the woods down the railroad track.
I'll look into that a little bit.
Because that might be cool.
Yeah, well, whatever we can do that's cool, I'm going to do.
Right.
But I just think off the top of my head, just visualizing everything, I think it has the least amount of walking, if that matters to anybody.
That makes a lot of sense. So if you're doing this for exercise, this is not the one for you.
Yeah, but I don't want the walking to be a deterrent.
Right.
Although and that's why get out of the car.
And it's the idea. Yeah. But, a little walking won't hurt you. Yeah. So that's, but in all, I don't know, I shouldn't say that because I don't know what we're going to do. Who did a lot of walking?
On the first day?
Who?
Admiral Powin.
Powin's Brigade?
Powin's Brigade.
These poor people. See, these were all recorded. You're like, God damn it. This is like every month they're still making these Abner Perrin jokes. We recorded them all on the same day.
That was 20 minutes ago we started this joke.
So
that's why it's still cold.
If it sounds like we can't let this thing go over the course of 6 months, it's really because we recorded it all on one day. Okay, so like I said, Park of the Peace Light tour begins there. Tour begins at 10 o'clock, so get there a little early and dress accordingly for the weather. Man, that's August, so it's going to be hot. It's going to be sunny. Yeah. It won't be as bad as July, though. August is never really as bad as July. Although this year was kind of bad.
Yeah. You know, it's the humidity.
Yeah, that's what gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could. Maybe we should start. Maybe we should start finding volunteers to help with these because they're getting bigger. You know, the groups and stuff, and maybe we have like volunteers with a cooler full of water and ice. You know, and you would hand them out. We can't sell them on the battlefield, but we can hand them out for sure if people are going to die. You know. But we also don't do July anymore, so that might be moot. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Let us know if you want to volunteer. Anyway, again, August 20th, 10 a.m., Park of the Peace Light, Woods' Division. We will see you there. And that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Our hearts so stout have got us fame, for soon 'tis known from whence we came. Wherever we go, they dread the name of Gary Owen in glory. Instead of spa, we'll drink down ale and pay the reckoning on the nail. No man for debt shall go to jail from Gary Owen in glory. Instead of spa, we'll drink down